Hello and welcome to what I hope will be the first of many video reviews for Chopsticks on Fire. I'm Stephen and I'll be giving you my thoughts on a film that has become a firm favourite of mine, and that is the 1989 film Runaway Blues starring Andy Lau, Lau Dakwa, and Shirley Loy, Loy Xiaoling, and directed by David Lai. In it, Andy plays Kwong, a Taiwanese gangster who is forced to flee Hong Kong after accidentally killing another gang member in a bike race. Not long after arriving, he becomes embroiled in an affair with the local crime boss's girlfriend, played by Loy, and finds himself in a love triangle with his Taiwanese girlfriend, played by Ngok Ling, and ends up striking up an unlikely friendship with a criminal named Hua, played by Kelvin Wong Xiu. One of the more interesting things about Runaway Blues is that it was one of 17 films featuring Andy Lau released in 1989, which goes to show that Andy was, and in some ways still is, one of the hardest working actors in Hong Kong today. Other films he appeared in that year were Casino Raiders, Proud and Confident, Crocodile Hunter, God of Gamblers, and a few others, so 1989 was most definitely a busy year for Andy in terms of his output. It was directed by David Lai, as I mentioned earlier. Other films that he directed, such as The Body Is Willing, Tragic Hero, which starred Chow Yun-fat and also featured Andy, Swan Brothers, another film featuring Andy, Saviour of the Soul 1 and 2, once again featuring Andy, but this time alongside Aaron Kwok, Kenny B, Karina Lau and Anita Moy. And of course, Operation Scorpio, starring Chin Kar-lok and Lau Garlung. That last one being a really fun throwback to the old Shaw Brothers Kung Fu pictures, so it's definitely worth checking out if you can get your hands on it. Also, co-director Fruit Chan served as an assistant director. Chan directed films such as Made in Hong Kong, Hollywood Hong Kong, and Three Extremes, and a few other films which have a bit of a cult following. As for the film itself, well, Runaway Blues is without a doubt fully deserving of its cult following. I think mostly it has to do with the incredibly dangerous stunt work that was devised by Blackie Ko Xiao Liang. Ko was known for choreographing vehicle stunts in films such as Wheels on Meals, Heart of the Dragon, and Legacy of Rage, and a few others which all have strong followings in the Hong Kong film fan community. So he was a good choice in terms of being able to put together some really good action. The opening re-sequence in particular, which Ko himself appears, sets the tone for the film rather nicely, I think, and has some really crazy crashes and stunt falls. There's also a rather, quite frankly, frightening moment later in the film when a stuntman is hanging on the side of a bus who then falls off, and as he's rolling across the ground comes within literally inches of having his legs crushed by a passing car. There's also a good helping of really brutal and angry hand-to-hand fighting to try and mix it up a little bit, as well as a fun fight between Andy and Kelvin in which both of them use traditional kung fu forms. And while the choreography itself isn't all that great, especially since Andy was known for being able to perform some spectacular action in films such as Magic Crystal and Lucky Stars Go Places, here he doesn't get to show off as much, but what we're left with is still good, and weirdly doesn't clash with the rest of the film in terms of how the violence is portrayed. So I have to say I also like the cast in this one a whole lot. Andy gives his usual calibre of good acting. Shirley Loy gives what I thought was a standout performance, especially toward the end of the film. I don't want to spoil it for you, but for those who have seen it will know what I'm talking about. Kelvin gives a really good performance, and his chemistry with Andy is another great highlight for me in this film. Now, so Runaway Blues is a tremendously good film and is a must-see if Hong Kong crime dramas from the late 80s and early 90s, which were popular at the time, are your thing. Availability is limited, but it's worth seeking out. I mean, I was fortunate enough to get a copy brand new off eBay, so you may want to keep your eyes peeled for that somewhere. So that's all I have to say on that. So I hope you enjoyed listening. Be sure to check chopsticksonfire.blogspot.com for further written reviews, columns and articles, and retrospectives. This is Stephen saying goodbye for now.